Hello, my name is Ekaterina Gumnova, and together with Catherine Bello, we introduce our project Streamlining Community Service Process at FIU 1.0. It's a mobile application for an iPhone. It's called FIU Gives, and it was developed for FIU Honors College. Honors College students needed to have a simple and efficient way to access community service opportunities. They needed a mobile application that allowed them to view, schedule, and organize community events on the go. The simplicity and ease of access should help involve more members of the FIU community in the volunteering work, thus raising awareness of the existing problems. Our proposed solution is a user-friendly, intuitive application that streamlines community services to a mobile device. It combines the functionalities of an event calendar, event scheduler, and a map that allows a user to view events locations relative to the allocation.
These are all of the use cases or actions that are available to the user in the system. The blue use cases were implemented by myself, Catherine, and the white use cases were implemented by Ekaterina. We'll be discussing a few use cases in detail later on in this video. The architecture patterns implemented in our project are client-server with model view controller for structuring the user interface. In model view controller, the communication between the views and the data is provided by the controller classes. For our database server, we implemented Firebase, which is a NoSQL real-time database that saves data as JSON objects. Using Firebase allowed us to keep a two-tier architecture pattern instead of implementing a traditional three-tier pattern because Firebase handles all of the server connections.
We developed the following classes for the application: event, event date, event calendar, user, and address, which is actually a structure. Event class holds the details for each event, such as name, category, description, address, and coordinates. When event object is instantiated, we use forward geocoding, taking advantage of CL geocoder class, which is part of correlation framework, to store events longitude and latitude. We use address struct to store event's address. We also use events date class that stores the first moment of the event's start date. Event class conforms to the comparable protocol to be able to compare events by their start date. Event calendar class was implemented using the singleton pattern, as only one instance of the class is required for the process. So was the user class for the same reasons. Event calendar is a collection of events of type dictionary that uses the first moment of the event's start date as a key and an array of events that occur on that date sorted by start date as a value.
These are a few of the most important user stories that were implemented in our project, starting with sign up. As a user, I would like to sign up so that I can use the software securely and my data isn't viewed by unregistered users. When a user signs up, the system offers the user an option to log in and validates all user input. Firebase actually has their own email and password authentication system. However, you can specify authentication rules using their JSON formatted security language, so there is validation in the front and back end. Signing up creates a user's node in the database that uses the user's UID as a key and creates child nodes for the Rsvp list and user info.
Create event. As a user, I would like to be able to create a volunteering event so that it is added to the events network and display it in the events calendar. To create a new event, the user has to click on the plus button in the top right corner, and then they're taken to the blank form to complete the event's details. All the fields contain placeholders indicating what information is expected from the user. To select the start and end dates, we use the date picker, and the end date cannot precede the start date. User can select events category from the predefined list of categories. If no category matches their choice, they can select other. After the user is done entering the information, they can click the Save button to have the event added to the database and to the events calendar. A user will receive an alert if any of the fields are left blank. They won't be able to create an event with the same name on the same date. Upon completion, a user will be taken back to the events calendar view. They can click the back button at any time to cancel creating the event. When an event is created, it is added as a new node to the event calendar node in the database, and events reference, which is a concatenation of the event's name and start date, is added as a new node to the events created node of the user that created it. All of the events details are stored into the Firebase.
View event details and RSVP to event. As a user, I would like to view event details so that I can see if I'm interested in that event. All event information should be displayed in the view. All of the links in the view, such as contact email and event flyer, should open up the appropriate application on the user's phone once selected. As a user, I would like to RSVP to an event so that I can keep track of my volunteering activities. When a user RSVPs, the system checks if the event exists in the user RSVP list in the database. It also checks that there are no time conflicts between the event selected and the currently RSVP'd events. The system displays a confirmation email and updates the RSVP button to cancel when the RSVP button is selected. The system also prompts the user for calendar access and adds the event to the user's telephone calendar.
View map, event information on the map, filter map results. As a user, I would like to be able to view a map that pins all the events on the map and shows event name and date when I click on the pin so that I can see their location relative to mine. A user clicks on the map button at the bottom of the screen, and they are presented with the map that shows all the events on the calendar mapped relative to their location. When they click on the pin, they see event's name, date, and time. A user can click on the search bar on top of the screen and get a view of the date picker where they can choose a date for which to map the events. They can cancel and go back to the previous view, or they can select a date and click map. And then they get a view of all the events on the specified date.
View Rsvp Calendar. As a user, I would like to view a calendar of volunteer events that I Rsvp'd to so that I can manage and organize my time. This was implemented using the JT Apple Calendar framework, which provides classes to design and customize a calendar in Swift. When the calendar loads, the cell selected should be the current date, and when a date is selected, a list of events should be displayed in chronological order.
We performed unit testing using Xcode, but our main focus was the functionality testing running the application in the Xcode simulator and on an iPhone Model 6s. I will describe the test case to verify that a new event is added to the Firebase database and displayed correctly in the application events calendar. Expected result was that new events key is nested under the event calendar node in the database with all of the child nodes such as event name, event description, event category, and so on, which are stored with corresponding values. We also tested the application to verify that none of the fields were left blank when a new event is created on the application. And once the Save button is clicked, the event shows in the events calendar and under the Edit Events section.
Thus, this is the first prototype of Streamlining Community Service Process at FIU, and we believe it provides a simple and efficient solution to the product owner's problem. We essentially created a centralized and user-friendly place for volunteering events. Since this is the first version of the application, it only includes the essential functionalities of the system, but it can be expanded and improved into a social media platform to fully accomplish the owner's goal of engaging people in the community.